Namaste, beloveds. This is Valerie Ames, also known as Mother with Wisdom, also known as Panthea lately. And this is going to be a general reading. I'm going to be using 4 different decks. The first deck is going to be Abraham Hicks in the Vortex. And let's just get started, beloveds. I'm going to shuffle the deck now. And again, this is getting into the vortex. I apologize for the lighting. It's kind of going in and out, but it is what it is. So, again, this is Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham, getting into the vortex. And if you are following me on Facebook, you will have been noticing, especially today, that I'm shuffling while I'm talking. There are a lot of, some would call them synchronicities, but I call them being able to see the alignments, being able to actually follow what you need to follow. And I'm just going to always pull 3 from this one. Don't know why, just is what it is. So, okay. Let's see, beloveds, what we have here. Babies are thinking and attracting before they speak. Even though you are only months old in your physical body, you are a very old and wise creator, focused in that baby's body, and you came with powerful intentions. People often assume that because a child is not offering words, the child could not be the creator of its own experience. But it is our promise to you that no one else is creating your experience. Children emanate vibrations, which are the reason for what they attract, even from their time of birth. This is a very powerful card, and I'm going to show it to you. There's that little baby. I hope you can see. And I want you to see the baby reaching out to the light, the stars, the sun, whatever you want to call that, itself even. Like I said, this is a very powerful card, especially given, like I said, what's going on Facebook today, at least on my Facebook page, what I've been posting and everything. And, beloved, this is all so aligned with what I've been saying as far as taking baby steps and being gentle with yourself, being kind and being forgiving with yourself. A lot of us assume that because we have a certain sun sign age, that we are this age and that we should be representing what society says this age should represent as far as maturity. And, beloveds, this card is saying that, excuse the noise in the background, that's my brother. But what this card is saying is that children emanate vibrations, and they are the reason for what they attract. You know, they attract, they vibrate from the essence of the stars, from the divine. And we can't help but notice that effort, that essence, that vibration. We can't help but to be and to feel attracted to it. And that's the nature and the essence of that child. And being childlike is to bring that attraction to you, is that type of innocence, that state of mind that doesn't have all those filters and everything, and this allows everything to come to it naturally, to come to it through its own vibration. It's not attracting from outside of itself. It's not attracting from outside of its own self-knowing of its needs. It's attracting what it needs in that moment. Okay, that is that card. Let's go to the next one. The next one, by my attention to things, I am making choices. What people do not understand is what you do not choose, that you do not choose something by looking at it and shouting, yes, I would like some of that. You make your choices by your attention to things. In this universe, that is based on attraction. When you look at it, an unwanted thing, your attention to it causes an activation of the vibration within you. And then the law of attraction brings more like it into your experience. So, beloveds, this law of attraction has been going on for the past couple of years, I would say. Many of us are just now tapping into the truth of the principle, the universal principle of it, the divine wisdom of it, understanding that we need to be able to have our own self-identity in order to tap into what we really want to attract instead of what we don't want to attract. And beloveds, that comes from what you give your attention most to, what you focus most on, what your frequencies are centered upon. And I'm going to show this card. I didn't show it. Excuse my little dirty nails. Also didn't give the number to this one. This one is number 50. What did I do with, okay. The baby card was number 14, which is a 5. This card is a 5. 5 is about humanity. 5 is about unity. 5 is about harmony, especially among human beings, because we have 5 fingers on each hand. We have 5 toes on each foot. 5 is very instrumental in the way we are designed. And the more we know about our current design, the better. And what we need to understand is that the ancients used this wisdom all the time. They were aware of what numbers, of what seeing something repeating meant. They were aware that these were signs and these were symbols, that this was the unseen communicating with them, and that they needed to pay attention to it because whatever message was there was for their benefit. And that wisdom was to be passed on. And a lot of that information is encoded into our DNA and our genetic makeup. And it's there. We just have to learn to be still and still our minds enough from the day-to-day craziness to bring it back down to that natural vibration where we are indeed receivers. And we can receive purely and we can transmit from a pure place. We can give back from a pure place, from the heart center, because it's based upon unconditional love. It's also based upon the fact that we are reflections of each other. We are divine expressions. And we are diverse in nature because divinity is diverse. There's no one way to express God. There's no one way to express the sensation of God. There's no one way to express the color of God. There's no one way to express the knowledge of God. There's no one way to express the love of God. And if we are children of God, then we must put those same universal laws, we must look at them from the same way that we look at God. We must understand that we are part of that collective, not separate from it. And from that sacred place of knowing, from there, we not only attract what we need to manifest what we need into being, but we make the choices, we make the decisions, we internalize the process. It's not something that we are living outside of ourselves from. We're beginning to live from inside of ourselves. We're beginning to hear. We're beginning to see. And it is because of the red sun that this is happening. As above, so below. Um, Everything is spiritually aligned, and we are falling in line with that alignment. And we're all on different schedules, so to speak, because all of our life experiences, that's part of the condition of it. Your life experience is what makes you you, is what allows you to make the choices that you choose. If you're not a follower and just being a clone. But if you're being real, you internalize the experience and you reflect upon that experience. And that experience not only helps you to survive, but it helps you to cope. It helps you to be, and it helps you to become. So we're being told to be very mindful of our thoughts at this time and what is influencing us. And beloveds, one of the things that I am getting, and I began, if you go back and look at a lot of um, my videos in 2017, and I guess in 2016, a lot of them were protesting and venting and informing you about what was going on in this time, what was getting ready to happen in this time, period. And it came from mama, it came from within. No one had to tell me what was going on with Trump and Putin. Mama told me what was going on with Trump and Putin. And I shared it. And it was at a time where people were like, Valerie, you crazy. Valerie, you are such a conspiracy theorist. Girl, you need to quit smoking what you're smoking, or, you need to get out the house more. Okay? Or then you got some of them, girl, you need a man. You just need a man. You need a man, right? You had a man, you wouldn't have all that time to be, you know. And I'm like, really? Okay. And so I began to um, manifest and ask for what I wanted in a man. I began to define that. I began sacred masculine to my sacred feminine. I wanted somebody to mirror me, mirror my intellect, but more than my intellect, because baby, I got a GED, okay? Plain and simple. But I wanted somebody to reflect my spirituality. My spirituality is ancient. It is beyond earth time, so to speak. And I found that person, and we've connected. And the connection is a twin flame connection. It's just blowing my mind at what is demanding of me. And it's not him demanding anything of me. It is the relationship and understanding what I want in a relationship, and what a relationship means to me. And what I've been working for all these years, 20 years of celibacy, okay? So it's a beautiful thing in that I'm watching it unfold. I'm watching, Mama told me, be very clear with what you want. State it to the universe. Pray. Ask for it. And don't rush. And don't settle for everything that comes your way or that is attracted to your light. Don't settle for less than your worth. And so in learning my worth, in recognizing myself as this infant, and in recognizing my attention to things, am I making things, am I bringing the things closer to peace, or am I bringing things closer to fear? And I want to bring things closer to peace, because when you're in a peaceful state, you are able to love unconditionally. You're able to expand without limits. You're able to feel without limits. You're able to really understand what the ascended masters meant by bliss. Um, and you understand that it's a beautiful state to be in, to find oneself in, and that it is worth doing the work to maintain it, no matter how painful that work is. Baby, I've come through I've come through some painful times, but I'm here to tell you, and I guess what the universe is telling you as well by having me say this today, is that allow the storms. Allow the storms to purify and bring about the quiet that's needed afterwards. Allow the storms. Identify them as storms. Identify the storms as being storms of nature. There is nothing that happens on this planet without Mama's awareness, approval, understanding, and acceptance. So, beloveds, when you truly put yourself in your parents' hands, Mama, Big Papa, Sky Mama, Earth Mama, whatever, however mesh those together, however you intertwine that, whatever your system is, um, understand that we have to mimic that upon the earth. We have to be the examples of it. We have to live it. It is not a lifestyle. It is not some fake, phony, pretend, be society clone thing. Every neighborhood has to look alike. Everybody has to drive the same color car, the same make of car, the same brand of car in order to feel important or successful. That's not the way of nature. The ant is as beautiful as the elephant is to the mama. Just as important. Their size has nothing to do with it. The work, the expression that design carries out has nothing to do with being better than or being less than. It has a purpose. It carries out its purpose. It doesn't sit there and say, damn, I wish I was an elephant. I'm tired of being an ant. There's no glory in being an ant. People step on you and all this stuff. You gotta work I'm tired of being an ant. Just human beings walk around saying, I'm tired of being a human being. When we are gods. At any moment, we could change our situation, our condition, simply by changing our minds, simply by looking at it from a different angle, simply by being more accepting, simply by saying, Mama's got this, just let it work out. I manifested this in my ignorance, or I manifested this out of my innocence, and just let it play out and learn from it. And understand that you are not alone in this process, that there are all kind of guides, angels, seen and unseen. I'm looking at a rhino. um, that just caught me. Let's move to the next card. I intend to see the best in everyone, and this is a 48, which is a 12, which is a 3. And here we go. I intend to see, and I want you to see this card. I was told to look back at it. I'm going to show you. There are 3 eyes. Okay, I can deal with this. I'm going to deal with my makeup brush. But one is here, and one is here. These are the 3 eyes. This to me looks like a wheel. So this is a vehicle. This is light, so this is the light body. This is the unseen. This is we'll say this is what you need to manifest. This right here, this is the unseen that is also communicating to you to reach out to yourself. And this is what this card says. You can never consistently motivate anybody to anything. But when you see the best of them and you go over to where your vision of the best of them is, and you align with what that and offer one signal, now you are part of the inspiration you see. Have you ever had that experience yourself when someone sees you and loves you and expects the best of you? Do you not shine in ways you never shined before? And do you not find it really hard to shine when another does not look for the best in you? This card means we have to start looking first for the best in ourselves. And then we are equipped enough to look for the best in another person. We're able to see it because we know it's there. We can visualize it. If it's in me, it's in you. But you choose not to see it, or you're not aligned with that part of yourself just yet. You don't hear that unseen because you have not learned how to communicate with yourself. I can't think of the man's name at the moment, but Conversations with God just came up in from my thoughts. It's a book I read a long time ago, as I was beginning my journey, and it opened up so many things to me. And this card reminds me of that because before I read that book, I had always prayed and everything else, but no one had ever taught me what a conversation with God truly is supposed to look like and feel like. That it's a natural thing. It's as natural as me sitting here speaking to this computer. God is infinite intelligence, source, prime creator, big mama, the great spirit, the all, whatever you choose to call it. It is infinite. It is infinite intelligence. That's why it can respond in all languages. It can respond to every culture. It can respond to the masculine and feminine. It can respond to the blended. It has no resentment against itself. This is human beings ascribing and projecting, you know, our limited understanding, our infant. We as infants want to tell God how to be God. We as infants, as children of God, want to tell God, well, we know more about being ourselves than you do. And this is what the programming has allowed for. And it's time to get out of that programming, beloved, and it's time to realize that we have to be the best version of ourselves. And Marianne Williamson said, when we realize the divine in us, that the God in us, we allow other people to see the God in themselves. So, beloveds, it is unconditional love. It is divine love to show yourself love, to care for yourself, to care about yourself, to want to accomplish something before you die, before you leave. Warriors already know that they are prepared for death. They already are dead. They're just completing missions before the physical aspect of them is gone. That is their mindset. That is the preparation. We spend so much time fighting death, trying to cheat death, and all the while we're killing ourselves. We're killing ourselves with the way we love each other, with the way we eat, with the way we drink water, with the way we medicate ourselves, with the way that we do not get along as a species. We kill ourselves with the way we take care of the planet. We look at Anthony Bourdain, whom I loved. I loved his show. And I really believe he's gone because he was getting too political. And powers that be didn't like it. And not only was he becoming too political, but he was going and showing places that the forces who are currently in power don't want you to see. They want you to have one perspective, one narrative that they give you. And they don't want you seeing outside of that narrative. Because if you see outside of that narrative, you may empathize. You may sympathize. You may say, that's me. Or by the grace of God, that could be my family. Or, oh my God, that poor baby, that poor woman, that poor man, that poor child that's got to go to war. Can't even go to school. Can't even go learn. He got to go learn to kill. It's not right, beloveds. It's not natural. It's not in alignment with the divine will. And if we want to stop suffering, then we have to stop the behavior that makes us suffer. We have to stop the thought processes that cause us to act and react. We should be spending more money on teaching us to ground ourselves, on teaching us the universal laws, on teaching us our similarities, on teaching us about ascension and what being your best self means and what it could mean and what it does mean past, present, and future. Because we are multidimensional, beloveds. as we heal certain aspects of ourselves, that healing takes place inside of a multiverse, inside of multidimensions, inside of time frames, past, present, and future. So the ancestors understood this. This is why they said, know thyself. Because when you start understanding who you are, your cycles and your seasons, your gifts and your abilities, your wisdom, your connection, your wisdom of being an individual, and your wisdom of being part of a collective. All of this happens at once. But with the time factor the way we know it, it seems all willy-nilly. It seems what it is today. But there's a more intelligent mind that has orchestrated all of this. And time isn't relative to source as it is to us. It is not measured the same way. It's not measured in years. It is not measured in days and times. It's measured in cycles and seasons. And the constellations and the heavens show that. And the heavens change. Every so many thousands of years, the heaven evolves. That light or that energy that was once there and fades and dissipates, it comes back around. That is where we are right now. We are on the cusp of receiving these ancient knowings and ancient wisdoms. We are awakening. Our DNA is reacting to the call of the frequencies of the stars and of the planets and of the heavens and of the angels and the choirs and all of this. There are hierarchies. We are evolving, we are ascending back into the understanding and knowing of who we are. From my own perspective, what Mama is showing me as globally, as far as the entire population is concerned, we are on the second chakra. We are coming out of the root chakra, the survival, and now we're going into this new phase, this new era. And this new era is going to teach us much more about ourselves. We're going to be opening from a much deeper place, from a deeper consciousness, from a deeper place of being able to receive information. And you might find yourself being attracted to certain things. Pay attention to those things, beloveds, because they're calling you. And there's something in you that is receiving that call and recognizing it. And that's where that craving is coming from. That's why it keeps repeating. Follow it, observe it, talk to it, understand what it needs from you, and move forward. Understand that everything is a part of you. Everything is going to speak to you, beloveds. You've been praying for help. You've been praying for messiahs. You've been praying for the end to suffering for you and for your children. It's here. Why do you act like you don't have a clue? Why do you act like the world is ending? Why do you act like there's going to be a World War III and there's going to be this and there's going to be that and there's going to be... If that is where you are focusing your attention, baby, you're going to get what you want. I am no longer focusing on the World War III or on what a Donald Trump is going to do to this world, because I got news for you. Donald Trump ain't got nothing on my mama. Okay? Nothing. And the showdown of wills, him and Putin can climb on as many horses barebacked and bare-chested as they want to, baby. Mama got something for them each and every time. Believe that. And moving on, because I don't want to go to that vein, like I said, that little rabbit hole right there, it will suck you in. It will suck you in. It will suck you in, and it will drain you of your peace. That is what I have been finding out. And that is why you have not seen me posting as much of what is going on, as far as political, as far as what church and state is doing. I post still because that's part of my mission, and that's part of the wisdom of yourself that is needed in order for you to make the choices that you need to make. But, beloveds, it is your choice to fixate upon what the negativity. You feed it because you have expectations. And when you have expectations of this political system, you can be disappointed. When you do not have any illusions about this system, that man cannot rule over man, cannot do it in this current state, cannot do it in this current vibrational frequency, cannot. You understand that you're being Don Quixote and you're fighting the windmills of silence. And if you step back from yourself, that's not being your highest self. That's being your most foolish self. And I don't know about you, but mama didn't raise no fool. You know, I may be a fool starting off on my innocence and everything else, but when as far as seeing something and not paying attention to it and not understanding the details of it and not understanding what it wants from me, what does Trump want from you? What does Trump want from America? What does Putin want? What does Putin want from America? How does Putin feel about American citizens? How does Putin feel about women? How does Donald Trump feel about women? There is a lot there, beloveds. There's so much there. Let me move forward. I'm going to do a card from my romance deck, just because I am, not only because I'm in love, but because the energies right now are, I'm just getting the cards together, are dealing with sacred unions, the twin flame, the soul flames, the burning, the attraction. You know, in order to light a fire, it's got to catch. There has to be an attraction. The chemistry has to be right. And, beloved, there's a lot of that going on right now. And the pairing that is occurring is divinely inspired. And a lot of these pairings are to bring about new insights, to give birth to new vibrations, new frequencies, new values, new morals, new codes. It is to open the door for unconditional love. Those that are in these positions have been appointed, um, and they have known it for a very long time. They've never fit in, and they've always been looking for, I won't say the other part of themselves, but they've always known that there's more to them. I'll put it that way. And that another this twin flame would be the one to spark that kundalini fire, would be the one to bring to the surface all that is hidden. Because when you're in that kind of spiritual relationship, everything is about revelation. Everything is about exploring the divine, equally from a place of adoration, from a place of devotion, from a place of loyalty, from a place of commitment, um, from a place of integration, from a place of wholeness. And that's the most natural thing in the world. So, let me, okay, this card just jumped out, so let's just get it. New love. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. This is so funny. Look at the angels there by her head, whispering to her. Look at the flowers in her basket. Let's see. There we go. The flowers in her basket. He's on his knees. She's in blue. She's got a veil on. There's so much symbolism there. She's barefoot. What she has in that basket is a couple of chickens and eggs on the other side, and she's balancing it on her left shoulder. Beloveds, there's so much there. And he's, of course, is this knight, and he's holding this rose, this blooming rose for her. New love. Let's see what the card says. New love. 59, which is 14, which is again 5, beloveds. 59. So that's 555. And if you like more insight, or if that wakens something in you, Google 555, beloveds. That is an angel number. Okay. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. The romance angels have sent you this card like a Valentine greeting, signaling the introduction of someone new into your love life. Perhaps you've recently met this person and your interest was piqued. This card validates that your connection was mutual and real. It is safe for you to explore it, and the romance angels will guide your actions accordingly. Just saying, the law of attraction, beloved, start using it. That is your tool. Mama has given you tools. If you don't know about them, you can't use them. You can't make your life better. You'll always be waiting on somebody else to come in and fix something for you, come in and do something for you the way you've been programmed. But if you understand that everything you need is within you, and all you need to do is vocalize it, either from an internal place or from vocalizing it, and asking specifically for what you need. what you want in this moment, what you need to attract for your highest good. And beloveds, that's a good way to um, ask for, even if when you don't know if it's in your best interest or your highest interest or not, ask and make that one of the conditions of the universe. And leave that up to in Mama's hands. Mama, if this is best for me, you know, allow this to happen. Allow this to unfold. Allow me to see it. Allow me to hear it. Allow me to know it. Allow me to see you in it. Allow me to see you in me and my reactions to it. And this is how you start manifesting, beloveds. Remember, I've been saying for a while, just wait. I'm going to learn how to manifest. When I do, I'm learning and I'm sharing. So let's keep it moving. Let's go to the animal messengers. And this is coming from Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides Oracle Cards by Stephen D. Farmer. And I'm just going to shuffle just in case I hadn't cleaned that beforehand. Because I often, like I said, I go to these cards, they call me sometimes, and I sit and I just get what I get. Okay. I don't know why, but this first card, okay. Honeybee. Honeybee. Okay. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. Okay, let's go read it. Honeybee. Page 60. 6, right after number 5. Okay. 60. There we go. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. To reap all the sweetness that life has to offer, focus on compassion and forgiveness. Compassion means that you have heartfelt empathy for the suffering and misfortune of others, yet remain somewhat detached so that you don't take on their sorrow and distress as your own. Forgiveness requires that you first acknowledge and accept responsibility for your judgments. Rather than pretending they don't exist or professing to always sustain a non-judgmental attitude, the next step is to release those judgments. And beloveds, we judge ourselves. This could be speaking of judging others, but I am motivated to speak on judging ourselves. And I am so guilty of it. I will sit here and I will say some things about myself, and my own other selves will be like, does she know she's talking about herself? And I have to catch myself and be like, you know what? I love myself. What am I saying? What am I saying? And I have to catch myself and snatch myself when I'm saying certain things. I'll be like, you fat ass this and you blah 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 blah. And I really have to be like, that's that's not loving. That's not joking. Be real. Where is that coming from? And I have to be real with it. In that particular moment, if I'm feeling schlumpty dump or whatever, I have to say, well, that's where I am at the moment and that's how I feel. So it's validated. And then you have to allow that higher frequency part of yourself to come in and deal with that self. talk with that self, hold that self, comfort that self, and let that self know, you know what? In spite of how you're feeling, you're very beautiful. You are a divine vessel. Mama channels through you. You receive, yeah, you fat, but you receive all of this. You deserve love. You're good. You're blah 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 blah. You know, we need those self talks, and we have got to learn how to do that. And it's so funny that this is the honeybee, because if you know anything about the honeybee, before you see it, what do? You hear it. You hear that buzzing. So it's a frequency. And that bee is always busy because it's about making its honey. It's about sweetness. And beloveds, let me just go. To do so, think of someone past or present with whom you have judgments or criticisms. Trust that the first person that comes to mind is the appropriate one to start with. Consider 2 or 3 specific criticisms that you have about this individual, preferably captured with one word, such as selfish or cold. That's another word I use for myself is cold, chilly, ice queen. I used to be known as ice princess, ice queen, because people perceived me as being cold. And I accepted that. And that kept me safe. So I enforced that perception of me, which is deep on its own. But hey, like I said, survival is survival. Find a quiet place, go inside yourself, and look for that part of you that's exactly like what you're judging in the other person. It may be a very prominent part of yourself or a rather small aspect. You may identify it by recalling times when you've behaved in ways that resemble what you're criticizing. Once you discover that part of you, simply say to it, I love you and forgive you. If necessary, repeat this 2 or 3 times and notice any emotions that come up. In the coming days, be aware of any feelings that arise that may be associated with this experience. Practice this at least once daily for the next few days and watch what happens. The associations, productivity, community, cooperation, sweetness, love, compassion, forgiveness, rhythm, awakening, nature, poetry, mother goddess, royalty, and nutrition. All of that has to do with the honeybee, beloveds. Okay. Um, I'm being told for you to Google um, the queen bee, what her royalty means, what makes her royal, what makes the next generation of female queens royal, and what they have to go through to be queen, and what being queen really truly means. It means being able to receive as well as being able to give. You have to receive the food, and then you have to give the food as you produce. It's a very beautiful thing, as well as the um, ant queen in her colony as well. Pay attention to these messengers, beloveds, because they have very powerful, very powerful messages for humanity. These designs were here before humanity. They are part of us. And we need to understand the medicine and the lessons that each provide. Okay, let's move forward to the last card, which will come from, of course, the um, Isis Oracle deck. And this is by Elena Fairchild. And as you can see, this book is just worn out. It is worn out. It is used so much. Just going to shuffle it a bit, beloved. Going back in this whole video, one of the things that is resonating with me from this general reading is the number 555, come as to be exact. Also, the color yellow from the honeybee, yellow and black, that combination, and what that combination means metaphysically, what it means spiritually, what it has meant to the consciousness of human beings, and what the honeybee has meant to the consciousness of human beings. Also, the understanding, again, that honeybee caters to the larva, the babies. And we had the baby card from Esther Hicks asking us and reminding us that babies are thinking and attracting before they are speaking. So we had the ability to attract by universal law before we even could utter a word. So it's not about your words. It's about your internal dialogues. It's about your internal knowing. Because it is from that place of, and this is very powerful, Mama says, it is from that place of knowing that you attract. So who you know yourself to be is what, let me see, I'm looking for a way to put this because it's coming through visually and I'm trying to find out how to put it with words. Okay. Beloveds, we come here with a vibration. Our consciousness is a vibration. Before we had human form, we were vibrations. Okay? And those vibrations had frequencies. And it is the harmony of those frequencies that attract what we want to manifest and what we are thinking and who we are becoming. And we are always in this innocent, pure state of asking before speaking. And a lot of times it's our egos that are asking and not our highest self or not our more spiritual, mature self. And that is where we have to check ourselves. We have to understand that before we could speak, we were manifesting. We were using the laws of the universe. We were existing inside what Abraham Hicks calls the vortex. And inside that vortex is all the universal laws and is the universal intelligence, is the universal womb, so to speak, from which we all came. And that universal wisdom has not changed because it has no beginning or it has no end. It just is. And it is. And in its becoming, it evolves, it moves, it shifts. And as above, so below. And when we can grasp that, we move forward with light speed. And that's what we want to start doing, moving forward with light speed. And the veils are gone now. There are no barriers that were before. What I'm tapping into, you're able to tap into, anybody is able to tap into. All you have to do is be still and listen. And if you don't know how to do that, like I said, one of the books got a little after the second one or third one, but the very first conversations with God is a wonderful place to start if you don't have a place to start. That is, or don't know where to start. That will open you up. It will open up your mind. It will open you to questions. It will reach something in you that will set you on the course that you need to be. Okay, let me move forward and get this Isis card. It's been an hour already. Okay. What do we want? Mama, give us something that deals with the law of attraction. Give us something that deals with spiritual maturity and with twin flame love and with our responsibilities as your children and what we need to do in order to tap in to the frequencies that you have programmed into existence. Okay. Magic and ritual. Crafting sacred practice. Look at the mantling. I see candlelight. I see meditation. I see trance state. I see devotion. I also see sensuality in this. And a knowing like I told you so. So let's see what this card says. Magic and ritual. And it is on page 102, which is A3. Let's see what it says. Crafting sacred space. Effect in an excuse me. Effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. Magic and ritual can support your divine path now in the physical world, and you are encouraged to enhance your power with regular practice. The results that you experience will encourage you to continue with the practice as you grow in power, grace, love, ability, and wisdom, and apply your inner beauty to transform your outer world. And this is so much of what I prayed for, what I asked for in dealing with transparency. Um, I want someone to meditate with. I want someone to work on grounding and breathing and exercising and moving and just opening fully and receiving fully every way possible. And that is a very beautiful thing Um, it's a very beautiful path. And to be told that I need to allow magic and ritual to play out in that really um, brings home a couple of things as far as um, some feelings I've been having that I haven't had anyone to talk to about, but they are what they are. And let's move forward. For us to grow empowered and potent on the path of ancient feminine power, we need to honor our knowing and being and cultivate sacred practice. Sacred practice becomes the habit of growing our spiritual power and consciousness. Like a garden, like a garden, needing regular care and watering to blossom and flourish, our inner garden of the soul. Okay. Sacred practice becomes the habit of growing our spiritual power and consciousness. Like a garden needing regular care and watering to blossom and flourish, our inner garden of the soul, where our creativity, joy, spiritual gifts, and bliss bubble away, also needs regular attention. Stop neglecting yourself. You know, for the longest time, I was so self-sacrificing and so um, trying to be outside of myself, trying to be the caretaker, trying to be the giver, so much that I forgot I'm a womb. I not only give, I am to receive. And I can give, 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 give. But if I'm not receiving, I'm not satisfied. And this is about my satisfaction. So I have to love myself enough to receive. To say, okay, Valerie, it's your turn to receive care now. You know, give yourself some care. Invest in some care into you. Take a minute. You know, let you be you. And be okay with that. And so, beloveds, let me move forward. Um, I don't know what the resistance is to this. Let me keep going because I have an inner resistance to this and it's bothering me. And I don't know if it's because of the use of the word magic or it's because of the word ritual. Grandfather and I had got into it before with the word ritual. Um, and the need for it in the fifth dimension. So I don't know if that's what this resistance is, but there's some resistance um, from me. That's why I'm constantly trying to ground myself because there's some feeling some kind of way. Okay. Coming to our practice takes strength and will, and inner will. Even though it can feel amazing, we still have to wake up. Set aside time and discipline ourselves to show up for our inner growth. Okay, got it. That's the procrastinator in me, not one. We didn't read this card before. We know what it says. We don't want to hear it again. And you have to discipline that little part of yourself and say, well, you finna listen to it again because obviously with all this resistance, you need it. You need it. We will reap the benefits when we do, but we must allow ourselves to fall in love with our practice, to craft something that really speaks to us so that we want to do it. The desire and the discipline together help us engage with our practice regularly, and we can grow so fast it can be quite shocking. When an initiate shows particular promise, higher guidance will often encourage that they develop a regular practice to hone their spiritual and creative abilities and more fully manifest their divine potential. They will grow faster and stronger spiritually and be able to step into spiritual healing and leadership to greater effect. You are one such soul, dear initiate, and you are being guided to prepare for this growth and authority now with your sacred practice. This oracle is guidance that you do not have great power and wisdom. I'm sorry. This oracle is guidance that you do have great power and wisdom within you, but you need to provide channels for it to flow and be active and empowered in your physical life. Definitely the procrastination goddess in me was resisting the hell out of this, okay? Still is resisting, throwing snowballs in hell, okay? Sacred practice is such a channel. Without these channels, the ego is left to create on its own, which is not much fun at all. Oh, yeah, especially with my imagination. The ego believes in fear and separation, and no matter how much it may want to feel love, bliss, connection, joy, and fulfillment, it really cannot do it with your spiritual presence in life. The ego, the ego, the ego, the ego. So no matter how much you are in your heart space and how much you feel the vibration of love and how much you know the vibration of love, that ego is going to throw doubt and stress and questions and all kind of imagined things up in your space because it doesn't want you to be spiritually in love. It doesn't want you to have that communication. And beloveds, that's deep. That is so deep. That is so deep. So when you're wondering where all of this stuff, me personally, I'm speaking from my own situation, my little, well, it's not little, it's divine, so it's definitely not little. But this situation, there is a battle going on with my own egoic construct, so to speak, because for over 20 something years, I've been single. I've been feeding myself certain information and strong woman, independent woman, blah, 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 blah. And now my heart, is seeking that vibration and frequency that's like its own, that unconditional loving, that spiritual nurturing and need and hunger, and thirst and desire. And the ego is having fits. And when I'm not constantly grounding myself or reminding myself of the true connection, that ego is throwing all kind of shade, okay? And it's amazing where the shade comes from sometimes because a lot of times it comes from you, it comes from your family, it comes from situations, from you, I'll say me, from me misreading the communications, from my imagination seeing one thing thinking it means this because that was connected with my past and automatically this is that again and ooh, and beloveds, new earth, new beings, reborn. You can't keep bringing the past into this 5D. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't have one foot in and one foot out. You're either there or you're not. You either get it or you don't. That's the difference in where we're going, where we're headed right now. And the leaders are leading the way, and they are figuring it out. and they are awakening, they are becoming, they are evolving at a faster um, frequency, I guess. And they're pulling a lot of things, they're anchoring a lot of energies um, that are coming back around at this time. And there is so much receptivity to the frequencies that is beautiful. And it's becoming more and more beautiful. Like I said, I'm not focusing on 45 anymore. I'm focusing on what happens when he's gone because I know he's going. And I know that somebody else is going to replace him. But I also know that we are getting to the parts where we will encounter the ancient shepherds. And from that point, we will move into a golden dawn, new age, beautiful, blah, 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 blah existence simply because we have manifested it. We have attracted it. We are giving birth to it willingly with faith from a place of self identity and self recognition and from a not safe, from a place of knowing that this is the best step forward. This is the best foot forward. This is the best way going forward. Okay, let me continue. When an initiate shows particular promise, higher guidance will be often encouraged that they develop a regular practice to hone their spiritual and creative abilities and more fully manifest their divine potential. They will grow faster and stronger spiritually and be able to step into spiritual healing and leadership to greater effect. You are one such soul, dear initiate, and you are being guided to prepare for this growth and authority now with your sacred practice. This oracle is guidance that you do have great power and wisdom within you, but you need to provide channels for it to flow and be active and empowered in your physical life. Sacred practice is such a channel. Without these channels, the ego is left to create on its own, which is not much fun at all. The ego believes in fear and separation, and no matter how much it may want to feel love, bliss, connection, joy, and fulfillment, it really cannot do it without your spiritual presence in life. Ritual and magic as a form of sacred practice are recommended for you as a way to bring more spiritual presence into your waking life, to heal and support the ego as you learn to create a life that feels better and brings you and offers more fulfillment. Sounds like I'm getting ready to be an initiate. Okay. Sacred practice in magic and ritual may involve any of the guided exercises in this oracle. Choose what feels good for you and experiment with what might be a regular pattern of practice for you. You are worth the effort. Remember, whatever effort you do put in will be repaid to you in wonderful benefits many, many times over. Once you experience these effects, and it might only take a day or a week or two for the effect to show itself, you will be more committed to continue. The effects are cumulative. As you continue to practice, the positive effects continue to grow. If you have recently started sacred practice, this oracle is confirmation that it is working well for you, and you should not give and you should not to give up if you are not seeing the results that you had hoped for. They are coming to you fast. This oracle is also confirmation that you are considering making an adjustment in your sacred practice. It might be time to do so, provided that you don't dismiss the gains you have already made with your current practice, and you remember that sometimes small changes can have big effect. Ritual and magic practiced with clear intent to be of service to the highest good and to manifest through unconditional love accelerates your power and growth, particularly when it is based on what your heart truly desires. It might be about connecting more with your body, about stilling your mind, or expressing your voice or creativity. An example of a practice is outlined now, but it is simply an example. As long as your practice includes invocation or prayer to divine forces of unconditional love, provides a structure through divine energy can flow, and it feels natural and right for you, then it will work for you. Please note that if you have pulled the Pillar of Light card together with this one, then including that ritual as the heart of your practice is recommended at this time. I'm going to share the um, ritual since this is a card about magic and ritual. If possible, have some music playing softly in the background and a candle handy ready to light. Rest quietly in a space where you will not be disturbed and close your eyes. Say aloud, I call upon Isis who loves me unconditionally and my own self now, in love, light, peace, and power. May blessings, protection, healing, and awakening abound. I dedicate my practice to divine love, so be it. Sit quietly as you listen to your music and light your candle. And I advise you to listen to Universal Brothers and Sisters. Music is on SoundCloud, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. Um, the music is encoded. It is beautiful. The lyrics are very positive, very spiritual. Um, it's encoded again with angelic um, frequencies that allow you to be more responsive to ascension. So it just opens you up, opens your awareness up. It gives you words to think about, it gives you thoughts. The more you listen, the more you will find in it. Okay. Um, and my favorite right now is Sexy Little Spaceship. That's just it. That's just it. And how he knew that was how I was singing. I don't. I One day I'll ask him. Um, Back to it. Sit quietly as you listen to your music and light your candle. Say, with this candle alight, I open my practice in sacred space. You may like to sing or chant the incantation below, or any favorite prayer or poem from this oracle, for example, in devotion to the goddess Isis, as a way to move into your practice. I am, I am, I am. I am the light divine. I am the love sublime. I am the peace beyond space and time. I am, I am, I am. When you are ready, close your eyes and become aware of your heart and your body, from the base of your spine down to your toes, and up towards the crown of your head until you are peacefully aware of what the inside of your body feels like with gentle awareness. Follow the breath and keep your awareness in your body. When you are ready, imagine a soft ball of pure light within your heart expanding with your breath until it fills your whole body and your energy field extending around your body. Now, imagine sealing the light in a bubble of violet light and golden light in two layers, wide and strong around your energy field. When you have done this, gently open your eyes and place your hands in prayer position, with your forefingers touching your forehead, your head slightly bowed, and say, "For divine light, love, and protection, I give thanks now. I am, I am, I am." When you are ready, just extinguish your candle and you are done. Incantation for sacred practice. Excuse me. You can say this incantation as an excerpt from the ritual above, as a part of your practice each morning, or independently if you do not have time for a full practice. I am, I am, I am. I am the divine light. I am the love sublime. I am the peace beyond space and time. I am, I am, I am. And that was that card, beloveds. And that's deep because um, I was just sharing some things with um, about the I am presence and where I have been at kind of in that frequency and how it's expanding for me. This has been a general reading, but it's been very broad. It's been very wide, beloved, and um, I'm bringing myself back to it, but I might have to do another one because I just don't um I don't know. I don't feel fully present, or I don't feel, what am I trying to say? I don't feel that all of the messages were given. Um I don't feel satisfied with this transmission, so um there may be others coming. Um it is what it is. I don't know what this feeling just came, but it is what it is. Um, Beloved, that is going to do it for me. We've we've connected um, from a place of openness, from a place of transparency, from a place of service, from a place of humility, from a place of family and connection and collective, individual, so forth and so on. It's a very beautiful thing, beloved. I've not made this video is going to on YouTube. I haven't made a YouTube video in a while. I don't know why. Just I've made a couple of live videos on my Facebook page, but I do like this energy because the distractions are so much there for me. But it is what it is, beloveds. And um, again, I'm sorry about this lighting. It is just all over the place, making me. But it's not about the looks, it's about the message. So, um, again, it is what it is. Okay, beloveds, that's going to do it for me. Also, I wanted to thank um, Alchemy, um, Alchemy in You, Alchemy for You, Alchemy in You on YouTube. Alchemy for You or into Alchemy. She reads tarot. And I love her dearly. Her last reading for Taurus was was so on point, sister. It just, I had to pick my jaw up from the floor, and I was like, okay, she's looking in here. She knows. She's seen, because it was just so on point. And my friend even posted some candles, a golden candle with tarot cards, because you had mentioned the traveling and so forth and so on, and we had kind of went our separate ways, and we came back together. So he is coming back, and I'm like, this alchemy girl, you tore it up, you tore it up. So um, love you. Thank you, sister, um, for your connection, for your wisdom, for your openness, for your transparency, and for your service. Um, if I can ever be of any service to you, please don't hesitate. Also, would like to thank Tilly, um, and a lot more readers and a lot more um, beloveds who have been sending me energies that I need to stop procrastinating. I'll put it that way, and just move forward. And with this with this outpouring of unconditional love, and my being able to receive it, I'm in such a different state, in such a different place. Um, I'm healing on so many different levels. A lot of my blood work and tests and everything are coming back, and my doctor's like, "What are you doing, girl? What's going on?" I'm in love. So much is going on because the mind has shifted, the focus has shifted, the self-love um, has taken on a much more feminine flavor, a much more goddessy type of energy, much more flirtatious, fun, but mature also, kind of energy. Let me get off of here because I feel I'm just blah, 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 blah. So again, beloveds, it is what it is, and I want to say thank you. I also want to send a shout out to Ashtar. Um, Thank you for all that you are, for all that you are to be, for all your service, for your guidance, and for your ability to love unconditionally. Um, that is the most powerful thing in the world. I am so complicated. Um, but he had the patience, um, and the intelligence enough to let me work it out. You know, excuse me. Being that I'm a truthful person, and I don't lie to myself, I might not speak the truth out loud about myself, but I don't tell myself no lies about myself. I If I say I procrastinate, baby, I'm the queen of procrastination, okay? And I know that about myself. And that goes back to that card about um, being mindful of the conversations that you have with yourself, the negative things that you say to yourself. So I've got to get out of this. I've programmed myself to be a procrastinator. I glorify in being a procrastinator. I enjoy it. That is a sign of my stiff neck and rebellious nature, is to procrastinate. It has been that way since I was a child. Since I didn't want to do the dishes, I would take all day. I would take all night. I would get threatened with beatings and some everything else. I don't want to do it. I'm taking my time. I want to, and that has always been me. But beloveds, just like I'm cognizant now that this is my behavior. I control it. Nobody else outside of me is making me procrastinate. That is something that I am choosing to do based upon my own rebellious ego and my little ignorance, because I want to remain that part of me feels empowered because it can say, "Oh, I procrastinate." That's I'm getting there. I'm getting there. That's not something to want to glorify. That's something that needs correction. If you're going to be a leader, you cannot be procrastinating. You there's much that I am maturing into, growing into. Um, I'm being shown some things where a lot more is going to be required of me. And that means getting from behind the scenes. I like to stay behind. I'm an introvert. There's that other, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. Okay. I stay to myself. It's I'm not looking for limelight. I'm not looking for to be the peacock. I'll don that if I have to, but it's something that I put. It's not natural. I'm not naturally an extroverted peacock kind of person. I'm homey and um, a nerd. You know, good movies, good books, good music, and my own company or someone who thinks like me, and I'm good. Child, that's paradise. That's heaven. But I'm being told that no longer is that your place. You have purpose. You are being upgraded spiritually, and you're going to get off of that couch, and you're going to move, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. And you can come screaming and kicking and crying, I'm a procrastinator, no! But mama's will is mama's will. And when you serve that will, you serve. So you even have to get out of your own way. Sometimes I have to get out of my way a lot. A lot. Because there's what I call legions. I have so much going on at all times. A lot of people say they can't turn their brains off or whatever. Mine, oh my God, it's like if you can imagine a couple thousand of people all in one body, all having their own ideas, all having their own conversations, all having their own needs, their own thoughts. That's what goes on with me. And I do my best to stay focused. I do my best not to be in my head all the time. But it has become a sanctuary for me. It had become my cave of solitude, so to speak. And because I wasn't getting the interaction, there was a form of depression going on. And to really look at yourself and to say, you have been depressed. And that is why you've been holed up in that house like that. So and so, when they told you that, they were right. And no, they wasn't. They wasn't right. They don't know me. Whoa. They don't know. That's just an aspect of me. But I am integrated. I am all my parts. I am, when that inner child is hurting, I'm hurting. When that inner clown is clowning, oh baby, I'm having a ball. When that inner diva is getting her groove on, ain't nothing like it in the world, you know? And it's about that procrastinating part of me. I have to really get a hold of her because she is rebellious. She is resentful. And she doesn't want to be told what to do. And when she is, she doesn't want to, she resents that you told her to do anything. And then she has to do it. So that is a part of me that has not matured. And that is a part of me that I'm recognizing now that I really have to deal with. And kind of dealing with this twin flame, this with Ashtar, it's making me really face a lot of parts that have been silent for a very long time, who have just been there, or who are just feeling or projecting feelings and not really being felt, not really being allowed to have closure, not really being allowed um, to mature, you know, or to die the death that it needs to die, because I steadily, hang on to it, or I drag it from this relationship to that relationship, or drag it into this feeling with that feeling and that feeling and this feeling, and it just, it gets crazy sometimes, beloveds. And when it gets like that, put it on the table. Put it on the table and sort it out. Put it on the table and sort it out, you know? And if you need someone, find someone who you trust to say, this is what it is. Look at it, and give me what you feel. Give me some feedback. I need feedback. You know, get that feedback, because the feedback validates your thinking and your thought processes. And beloved, seeking validation. Some people want you to think that that is such a bad thing. What I want you to understand is, what is your intention? Are you seeking validation just to say you're good enough? Are you seeking validation to build up your confidence? Are you seeking validation so you can feel something, or that you can feel like somebody sees you, or that you're fine, or that you're okay, or that you're attention seeking so that that is your validation? Understand what you need a validation for. Understand how you use that tool, because we come here wanting to be validated. We come here seeking milk, seeking the warmth of the mother, seeking her touch. We want to be validated, that she can feel us, that she can hold us, that she can comfort us. This is what we come into this world with. Validation is not this big negative thing, only the way we have been taught to look at it and to use it and to need it. But when you are strong, validation takes on a different nature. It isn't about building up your self-esteem. It's about Just, I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. Because our egos have been battling with us for so long. We have so many thought forms and so many ways of processing things that it gets out of hand sometimes, and we don't really, we don't believe what we see. We don't believe what we have manifested. We don't believe the miracles that are happening in front of us. Um, we run from it because most times we think we don't deserve it. Because the first knowledge that we get is that we are sinners, that we are less than, that we are children, we're less than. Our thoughts are less than, our feelings are less than, our values are less than, our needs and our wants are less than. It is it is time to be self-validating. It is time to validate others. It is time to connect from that heart space of love, from that heart space of I see you. You are me. And just as I don't want me to suffer and be unhappy, I don't want you to suffer and be unhappy. So when you're looking for certain validation, I'll give it to you. Simply because it's going to help you be you, a better you, or better in becoming you. Let the peacocks be the peacocks. Let the peahens be the peahens. We all have a place and a space to shine from. And that place can be plain. It can be simple. It can be natural. It doesn't have to be enhanced. It doesn't have to be shiny and glittery and a spectacle. It can be humble and be just as worthwhile. Honey is simple. Its sweetness is simple. But it is a complex chemical. Okay, beloveds, that's it, because y'all know I can talk if I want to, so let me just stop this. Okay. I love you guys. Be loved, be blessed, grow, validate each other.